Oh, what's up? Actually, I was the first one. Me. It was me. I was the first one in here. Ah, 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 ah. What's going on, guys? Whew. Yeah. Today, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I told you I was going daily. Doesn't matter if it's Valentine's Day or not. Let's get this volume off. There we go. There we go. What's going on, guys? Did you guys know that you guys are part of the live stream today? Look at this. Hold on. I gotta stop it because I was doing the time lapse. I was doing the time lapse thing for you guys, but watch this. Hold on. You guys are gonna be in the live stream right now. Hold up. Or not in the live stream. You guys are obviously in the live stream. What's going on, Toby? What's going on, Isaika? Sorry if I messed up your name. What's up, Jose? Jala, you know. By the way, voice is not synced with the cam. No! Why is it not? Boom. Yeah, there might be a delay, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Anyway, let's see. Look at guys. You're on the live stream. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. You're on the live stream, or not. I keep saying live stream. You guys are obviously in the live stream, but you guys are on the devlog. Yeah, I'm doing devlogs on Thursdays. What's going on, Audrey? You know, but we're gonna be getting into it right now. What's going on, Akash? Yeah, so that's how we roll, right here, like this. I'm like this. Actually, I have the gorilla part, and I do it like this. And I'm like, hey, look at my stupid face. Yeah. So I mean, there's that. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna be getting into it. I just thought it would be a nice casual conversation. I thought it would be interesting because, you know, I have like about 15% of you guys that are on the. No, I know that a lot of you guys actually, but a majority of my audience, well, not a majority, but 15% of my audience is coming from India. Now, I don't know if you guys are from India or not, but I know that a lot of you guys are coming from the other side of the world. The majority of my audience is actually here, and I think they're actually in California. But a lot of you guys are on the other side of the world. I live in the States, so you know, different time zones and stuff like that. And you know, I would assume that you guys probably have work, and right now is a little bit easier for you guys to maybe join. Why is this thing not working? Keep trying to get it to do the time lapse, and it's not doing time lapse. There we go. Anyway. Hold on. Anyway, there it goes. Alright, so yeah, Middle East Jordan here. Yeah, there you go. See? So on the other side of the world. So the entire thing is that you guys are a good portion of my audience is on a completely opposite time zone than me, and you know, I might be streaming, like I do the live streams usually at times that you guys are probably asleep. So I thought maybe doing an early one, early in the day for me, it's 9:35 where I live, you know, might be beneficial to some of you guys. So I just thought, hey, you know, reach out to you guys. Nobody else is streaming. Well, I don't know very many people that would be streaming right now. And yeah, maybe you guys would want to hang out. So today is Valentine's Day here in the United States, and essentially it's just this made-up holiday where we're all kind of tricked into spending a bunch of money, and but the theme behind it is essentially what you're supposed to do is spend time with your loved ones. Now, I have a lot of work today to do. The live stream I still consider part of my work because I said that I was going to give you guys daily content, and this is part of that daily content. Yesterday I uploaded the protocols video, so Yeah, I've been on track so far, so that's good. But I had a mentoring session this morning with a awesome follower. He reached out and he wanted mentoring sessions because he wanted to support my fundraiser. If you guys aren't familiar with the fundraiser that I'm talking about, I'm doing a fundraiser to help my situation with my house because we're currently in the process of trying to buy a house. Houses are extremely ridiculously expensive in California, and we're actually going for a lower end one, which is very far away from where we live, but we're struggling to get it. So I did a reach out. I did a video on it on the fundraiser that I'm trying to do, and I'm offering 3 hours of mentoring sessions for $100 and a whole bunch of other stuff, depending on how much money you want to put in and purchase stuff. So if you want to go back to that daily content slash housing fundraiser, if you go back to that video or that live stream and check it out, I give all the details there. But yeah, I'm busy today, and then I have contracting work that I have to do as well. So there's that. But I am going to be spending time with my wife. Today is the day that you spend time with your loved ones, your significant other, or whatever it is. And I do plan on spending time with my wife, and that's what kind of made me want to talk about why did you become a developer. So I'm gonna be talking about my situation and what led me to become a developer, but I also want to hear like why are you guys even following this channel? I assume it's because you want to become a better developer, unless you like happen to come across one of my devlogs and just thought it was that cool to follow and just be bombarded with all this other coding content. But yeah, why did you guys become a developer? I kind of want to know what got you guys into it. So yeah, let me see if I got any. Oh, and if you guys have any questions, definitely ask. I'm doing Q&A and all the other good stuff too. So it's Toby says it's like 7:30 p.m. here. Was doing some dirty Swift work when the notification hit in. Yeah, well, I don't know. Why is it dirty? It should be sexy, man. It should be sexy. It shouldn't be dirty. And then Hawkfly made it live today. What's up, Hawkfly? I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. Hawk reminds me of Hawkeye, like the Avengers. Anyways, so let me talk about why I became a developer. Now, I was working, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you kind of know that I was working in a restaurant before I got into coding. There was several other jobs that I was working on at the time. Like I was working at the restaurant for a total of like 6 years or so, right? A total length of 6 years. And, towards the end of those past like 3 or 4 years, I really just got really tired of that job, and I kept going out and trying different things. And my wife, my lovely wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, she was so supportive of me. She she told me to go out and do everything that I wanted to do because she knew that what I was trying to accomplish was provide a better lifestyle for our family. To be able to bring in more money, to just essentially have everything that we ever wanted. So she supported me on the entire venture of going out and trying to find myself, essentially. So I ended up I was going to school full time at the time for like psychology. So stupid. I went to a community college, and then I actually went to a real college, and I did not like the experience at the real college, didn't care for it at all, and I just kind of dropped out. From there, I was also doing real estate part-time. So I did real estate for a little while, for about 13 months. Didn't even make a single housing sale. I sold like one lease, and that was about it. And that sucked. Then I did, what else did I do? I think it was cars after that. I think I did cars. I started selling, doing cars. I worked at Volkswagen. Then I went to Volkswagen. Then I went to Lexus. And then I went to Nissan. And that was over the course of like 10 months or something like that, or maybe even less. And so I did car sales. And then I did telemarketing, but this is like kind of where things kind of start getting interesting, because I was doing telemarketing, right, and the whole entire point of the telemarketing was to actually do the marketing for another company. So I was reaching out to different companies, and my job was to kind of get them to buy into being advertised on a specific website, like a website that got a decent amount of traffic and that has been around for a long time. And I was supposed to call those companies and try to get them to buy an ad space. Essentially, that's all it was. It was a website for ad spaces. That's all it was, right? So what I was kind of forced to do was I had to learn a little bit about what that company does, because you just get this list of companies that you can call on, and it's just a company name and a phone number and like very minimum information. So you have to look up the company online, go to their website, and kind of figure out what they're about, so that you can tune your sales pitch towards that company. Well, I had to go to a lot of different websites, and those websites looked like they were from the 90s, guys. They were terrible. They were so terrible. Early 2000s, with the ugly backgrounds and the stupid gradients and all this other stuff, and they were so ugly. So then what I ended up doing was I started talking to my friend Nick. And me and Nick, we were kind of, we were BSing, and we were thinking like, oh, we could start up our own business on creating websites and all this other stuff. So I started out doing like Wix, right? I started looking into Wix. Then I started looking into WordPress. And I was like, man, this is kind of, I kind of want to like do it myself. So I started looking into web development, learning HTML, CSS, and all that good stuff. That's when I started actually coding, and that was like back in early 2000, late 2013. It was like late 2013, early 2014, or something like that. So I started learning. I started learning web development, and I got tired of web development. I didn't really like it. I'm not a very design-oriented type of guy, and doing front-end development wasn't my forte. So yeah, I didn't like it. And then I was like, okay, well, what about making iPhone apps? So I started learning Objective-C, and that was like the real first language that I learned. Like I was trying to learn. I didn't even like completely master it or anything. I started learning Objective-C. Terrible first language to attempt to learn. And after struggling for a couple months, they announced that Swift was coming out. So then I jumped on the Swift bandwagon, and I started learning Swift. And eventually, like I was only doing it in my spare time. I did it when I could, and it wasn't very much time that I had. Trying to spend time with the family, and then also working. I was working a lot of hours, and we actually had to undocument our hours, because you could get in trouble if you work because my boss at the time didn't want us to work overtime. So we actually I actually trimmed some of my hours just so that I could make more tips. So anyway, that being said, so I started learning Swift, and then finally I decided to just jump in a little bit deeper and just kind of surround myself and submerge myself in everything that had to do with code. I went on Udemy, took a online class by Rob Percival, which was I think it was Rob Percival. I think he did an iOS one. I kind of forgot. Anyway, it wasn't that great. Anyways, then I found Mark Price's course for the Dev Slopes course, and that was amazing. The iOS 9, or no, it was the iOS 9. I think it was iOS 9 that he was doing, and that course was amazing because it went over everything that had to do with Swift. It reinforced everything that I already knew and explained a lot of these concepts that I had a trouble, learning. So from there, what I did was, after I was done with that, I put out 2 crappy apps on the App Store. I already talked about those before. And then after I got those crappy apps on the App Store, I started applying it took me about 4 months to get a job. And it was only because, and I've mentioned this before, it was only because I was so submerged in in everything that had to do with code, that I was able to find this job because I had a couple of phone screenings and I went to a couple of interviews and I didn't get those jobs, but it was only because and I did like a mobile consulting thing before that, but that was like so small and like so insignificant I don't even count it. Anyway, only reason I was able to really get this job is because I was so submerged into the Swift and like to everything that had to do with Swift and coding and all this other stuff that I just, when I couldn't sleep, I would wake up and start coding again. And I actually went on Meetups because I was always trying to go to Meetups and meet more people. And I knew that like people that were hiring were also going to Meetups. So I checked online for Meetups, and then I found that my now manager had posted like essentially a job opening on one of the Meetup discussion boards. So that's how I came into contact with my manager, and then from there I was able to apply and then get the job. So the entire point of what I'm trying to say is the reason why I did this is for my family. Everything that I did was for my family, and the only way that I was able to do this was because my lovely wife, who I thank so much from the bottom of my heart, because I truly love the stuff that I do. I love making YouTube videos for you guys. I love when you guys ask me to cover these topics that I would never come across by myself. And I love that you guys are forcing me to learn so that I can teach you guys. Because a lot of the stuff that you guys ask me, I don't even know. I have to go do research and I have to figure it out myself, and then I have to put a video out about it. So, and everything that I'm able to do, I really credit to her because she was just so supportive. If I didn't have somebody that was supportive of me, I wouldn't be able to make it. I wouldn't be able to provide you guys with the YouTube channel. I wouldn't be one of these resources that you guys have for entertainment or education or any of these things like that. So, yeah. And now, I have a class. There's a class that I'm going to be teaching at SoCal Tech Academy. It's a new school. It's going to be a 12-week boot camp, 2 times a week. 4-hour classes from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's here in Southern California, in the LA area, and to be more specific, it's actually going to be hosted in Glendora. It's going to be in the city of Glendora. And I have that opportunity to actually start teaching you guys, like, no matter where you're coming from, the entire goal of the class is to actually, take you from, if you know nothing about code, it's going to take you from knowing nothing all the way over to being able to apply for an entry-level position as a junior developer. So, like, I'm super excited that I get this opportunity, but everything that I'm able to do, it all goes back to Adriana, my wife. It all goes back to her because she's the one that was able to support me, push me, and allow me to accomplish these things that I'm so passionate and I love doing. Like, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And now, when we get into arguments now, when we have like fights or whatever, the main problem, the reason why we've been, arguing or fighting lately is just simply because I want so badly. I feel so guilty for being able to do what I love, and I want so badly for her to be able to do that same thing that it just makes me frustrated that I can't just automatically give her that. So I really do love I do love my wife, and I do thank her from the very bottom of my heart for supporting me and allowing me to get to this level and provide you guys with the stuff that I can provide you guys with. So let's go back up into this chat over here and let's see where we're at, what questions you guys have. So we got Hawkfly. Akash says, where should I begin iOS development? Do I need to learn Objective-C or Swift? So my answer is always just learn Swift. That's all you need to know, especially if you're just starting and you have no prior programming experience. Then you don't even need to learn Objective-C. Just put Objective-C just completely out of your mind and pretend like it doesn't exist for now. The dog's going crazy. Okay, my mom got it. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so I would say you don't even need to learn Objective-C at all if you don't know coding at all. Okay, so just focus on learning Swift. The best place to learn, or the best way to start learning iOS development is to give yourself a task or an app, a very simple thing, and to actually try to build it out. And if it's too hard, just push through it. That's really that's the best way to do it, because that's what you have to do in a real job. When you go into for a real job, you're not going to know how to accomplish all the things that they're asking you to do off the top of your head. Nobody does. I mean, you might have a really strong understanding of how you're going to execute all that stuff, but you're still going to run into roadblocks. There's still going to be things that you need to look up, right? So what you need to do is you need to essentially put yourself in a state like where you're actually hired, where you say, okay, I want to build this app. And I would say if you're starting out, just make it something simple, because you want to be able to show yourself progress and not be discouraged from the defeats of not being able to figure something out right away. So choose something that's fairly simple to do, that you think that, yeah, I should definitely be able to do that. It's pretty simple, and work through that until you finish it. Finish the product. That's the whole entire thing. You have to finish it. And then once you come out on the other side, I promise you, you're going to be a lot better developer, and you're going to learn a couple of things too. All right. So Hawkfly says, I have a lot of reasons. Okay. So he's referring to the question that I asked. Why did you become a developer? He says, I have a lot of reasons. Literally watched Social Network and Steve Jobs in one night about 2 years ago. Got inspired at what the coding could do. Downloaded Xcode that night. That's awesome. I am really inspired by those movies as well. The Social Network, which is the story about the I forgot his name, but the Facebook dude, and how he came up with Facebook. And then Steve Jobs, that's always like a super inspiring story. It's like, damn, I want to be like Steve. I want to be like Steve up in here, right? So I really like that story, Hawkfly. So Toby is talking about why he wanted to become a developer. Toby says, I wanted to become a developer since I was 15. Awesome. That's awesome. Following that dream 22 now. So you've been at this for like 7 years, which is awesome. You're way better than I am. Studied computer science, worked as .NET developer for 4 months at cloud storage industry. Now same thing, but as an iOS developer. I love that. So yeah, if you guys are super young, if you guys are some young guys like under your 20s and you already know what you want to do, oh shoot, I gotta take that. I really gotta take that, guys. Sorry. Hello. This is Kyle. Okay, let me, can I send that as a text to you? I'm in the middle of something right now. Yeah, okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, is it this one that I could text? Oh, can you just text me? I'm in the middle of something. I really gotta go. And I'll send you my employer's number. But I'm self-employed technically, so, but yeah, I'll. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Bye bye. All right. So sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm in the middle of trying to get a house, so that's one of those house calls that I don't know. I guess they needed my information, and I really just had to take that. Sorry. So going back to what Toby said. Yeah, if you guys are young, especially if you're under 20, which is I think is super awesome. If you're under 20, and if you're over, it's fine. But I just think it's really awesome that you find something like programming, and if you love doing it, if you are coding passionately, then that's amazing, because this is such a awesome industry to be in. It's fun. You can build stuff. You can build your ideas, and you can take it from nothing and make it something. So it's just that I think that's really awesome. So congratulations on finding that something so early. That's actually what I told Jared Davidson. He's a really young guy, and he's been doing this for like a couple years now, like 3 years or something like that on YouTube. Like, damn, man, that's so awesome that he found something so early in his life that I don't know. I think it's just really cool. To implement an idea, and why did you become a developer? I became a developer to support my family, but I found out that I really just I enjoy writing code. So that's pretty much the TLDR. Swift Bro is the thing. Yep, Swift is the way to go. By the way, Hawkfly is that I follow you on there too. I just haven't updated. Yeah, come on, man. You gotta keep them handles consistent. What's going on now? What types of businesses can programmers start and be successful at? I live in Macedonia. Victor, what types of businesses can program? Well, honestly, the awesome thing about being a programmer is that you can actually start a business doing anything. It's crazy because you can make an app for literally anything. If you know web development, that definitely helps because it's really like anything at that point. But because that's usually where people like buy stuff. But anyways, a programmer can start a business as doing anything, like selling shirts. Just putting out apps on the App Store. That's a business. You can start your own agency. That's a business. I mean, there's literally so many things that you can do as a programmer. Like I couldn't possibly list it. Just think about, like, if you love doing code, think about the second thing that you love doing, and then figure out how to code an app for that, whether it's a web app or a mobile app. And then I'm sure that you can figure a way to monetize that, whether it's teaching how to do whatever that thing is or selling whatever that thing is. Toby, where to begin? I wish I could attend those classes. Yeah. So just a little. I want to put it out there. So the boot camp is about $5,000. It's a $5,000 ticket. You're able to purchase. You have to put half. You have to pay half up front, so $2,500 up front, and then after that, there's some payment plans that I believe that we're going to be offering. But if you're not a developer now and you're not making great money, the entire goal is the end goal for $5,000. If you could go out and get a job that's paying you that much a month, then I think it's honestly truly worth that price. Plus, you're gonna have access to me, going forward in your future. I'm gonna be providing you with all kinds of great content that you can actually use outside of programming, like on how to get hired and things like that. But yeah, it's gonna be quite a lot of information for you to be able to consume. Okay, so from here, what's going on? Ulad. I'm just going to say Ulad. I don't want to mess up your name too badly. All right, Major. I am a fairly new iOS developer and have 4 games on the App Store. That's way more than I do. Every company that I apply for is looking for more experience. How should I further my career? Now, I actually talk about how you can. I give 10 tips in my last devlog on how you can actually improve your chances of getting hired at a position. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you need more experience. But what you have to actually do is you have to really just come in and show them. You have to show that you know what you're doing. And one of the tips in that devlog was saying, build the app for them. Build as much of that app as you can within the time frame that you can, and send that to them with your resume, or have it ready for the have it ready for the interview, because I'm guessing if you have 4 games on the App Store and you're not getting jobs, it's probably because the games are probably very simple, and 2, that you're probably applying for jobs that aren't game related. So if you have 4 games on the App Store, which is a great thing to have, you have experience publishing to the App Store. But if you're going for like a social network, like a social networking type of app that they're building or whatever, then how does that game experience really transfer over to what they're looking for, you know? So I would say, like, let's say you're you're going for an app where you're trying to apply to a company where they sell clothes, right? Well, your game skills don't really matter. I don't really care that you can make a game, because that has nothing to do with me, my business of selling shirts or whatever, right? But if you come to me and you have on the App Store an app that is like an e-commerce site where I can just scroll through all the products, select one, and purchase one. If you have that on the App Store, or if you could even build that with like my logo on it, then I'm like, damn, look at you doing the most. I like you. I'm gonna remember you. Like, oh, there was this guy and this guy, and both of them are kind of looking the same. Major's looking the same, and then Billy Bob is looking the same. But Major came in with that one application, which is exactly what we're trying to do. I mean, let's just give it a Major. So, that's some advice that you could use. What resources should I use to learn Swift? Obviously, YouTube is probably one of the greatest resources, Stack Overflow, but to just start learning Swift, DevSlopes is doing some pretty good things. If you want to go with them, I don't know what their pricing is like. They just went through another round of iterations with DevSlopes, and they, they're doing some big things. So, but they offer a very comprehensive course. I haven't seen their latest stuff. I was more in it when Mark was the teacher, because I really enjoyed Mark's teaching style. That's like what kept me going through, because Mark is just a really enjoyable person to watch. But his other instructors are very knowledgeable, and they will definitely teach you everything that you need to know. So DevSlopes is one way. You can go on Udemy and just look stuff up on Udemy. Another way that you could go, which I wouldn't really recommend, is Lynda, lynda.com. But they don't really, I haven't really gone through their courses, and when I did go through them, they weren't that great. A really good teaching resource that I found was actually Team Treehouse. Team Treehouse, if you want to do you want to pay that money, I think it's like $20 a month or whatever. Team Treehouse actually had some pretty informative content. I was watching their videos about a year ago, just to kind of make sure that I wasn't missing any foundational stuff, and I was missing some foundational stuff, and it helped me learn and understand things like tuples, and there was a couple other things, but tuples was one of the things that really stood out in my mind. I was like, oh, that's why I would use a tuple. Oh, okay. But yeah, those are just some of the ways. But I mean, honestly, you can do it all for free on YouTube. Across, you have Brian Vung, which is Let's Build That App. That's more like advanced stuff, but he'll definitely have some stuff in there that you can get started with. Jared Davison, he has a lot of great stuff. I was watching Jared Davison before I even started this YouTube channel a lot. Sean Allen has been putting out great content. He's a little bit busier lately. He's a little bit busier lately. Mark Moykins from Big Mountain Studio. He has been going through some of these series that are covering some very great I don't want to say that they are foundational. He's been covering some good foundational stuff that I would definitely recommend that you guys go through. I haven't been able to check out everything, but I know he's been shifting his content from primarily UI related stuff to more foundational, better understanding on some of these topics, and I really like his his videos. And coding with Chris, or Code with Chris, Chris Ching, I think it's Ching. he also puts out great videos. Those are really well structured, because those are structured in a way that they're more like courses. Like, so you would like start one, and then it goes to the next, and then it goes to the next, and then you're just continuously building. Duck Tran is also a great YouTuber, and there's a couple other YouTubers that I'm probably missing, but there's a lot of great resources on YouTube, guys. Like, yeah, you guys can definitely learn a whole lot. You guys could definitely probably get hired with just the stuff that's on YouTube. You just have to be knowing what to look for now. That's kind of where a boot camp kind of helps you, tune you so that okay, you're going through these steps, and then builds you, and then you have that one-on-one interaction, which is why I'm offering it. But yeah. Yeah, so audio, right, much better. Okay, completely. Mute the mic when you get calls while live streaming. All right, sorry. Didn't think it was that big of a deal. Okay, are there any free resources? Yeah, like I said, just YouTube all over. I became a developer because I get to build something from nothing. I love that, Vinesh. Absolutely, build something from nothing. It's a phenomenal feeling. It's awesome. VJ, hi Kilo, you are doing a great job. Is there a route map you can provide to learn Swift algorithms and data structures after completing basics coding simple apps in many job posts? It is must. Okay, so this is another thing that I kind of wanted to discuss with you guys. Now, on Wednesdays, I have a random, right? So if you're not familiar with my schedule, I'm doing daily uploads. I'm doing on Sundays, you guys are getting the entire app building process. Mondays are going to be a topic that you guys have requested. Tuesdays are going to be the Swift language basics. Wednesdays are my random day, which is today, which is why I'm doing the live stream. Thursdays will be dedicated to Vapor. I'll be releasing a Vapor video tomorrow. Friday will be my devlog day, so I'm recording today, but it takes a while. It takes a lot of time to, do editing. So I'm giving myself until Friday to do that. And then Saturdays are the days that I'm going to be doing more Q&A these types of things. But yeah, I'm gonna be focusing on doing Q&As on Saturdays. So on Wednesdays, days like today, I can do essentially whatever I want, and I'm choosing live streaming for now because it's low prep time. All I have to do is just set up this screen that you're looking at, and then I can start talking to you guys, and we can have a conversation, which I think is really cool. But I have that freedom to mix it up, and I was thinking, I've been looking at some stuff. I was wondering, are you guys actually interested in like doing algorithms? Because there's things like Project Euler, which is spelled Project EULER. There's things like Project Euler that I'm kind of interested in. There's things like Ray Wenderlich has some was the coding the Swift algorithm club or something like that. So there's that, and then there's this concept of code kata or kata, yeah, something like that. It's the Japanese word for like practices or whatever. So I was thinking about that, like, and I don't want to say that Wednesdays are going to be like that code kata thing. But I want to kind of experiment with that idea. I was just wondering, are you guys actually interested in like learning algorithms? Like, do you want to know like the ones that are only going to be asked at an interview? Because if that's all you're interested in, then I would just say just go watch Sean Allen. He's covering like everything that you really need to know to get hired, and that's kind of where his channel is like kind of geared towards getting like the entire process of getting a job and everything you need to know that entails that, right? But if you guys are like interested in like actually just learning some just different stuff with Swift, just brushing up on some different weird skills, and practicing like having a code exercise where you're not allowed to use like if statements, or like having a code exercise where where you have to use only functional programming and you have to only use lets. There's no vars. Like, I think I'm kind of interested in that. I just want to know, would it be received well by you guys? So, yeah, let me know. Let me know if you guys would like something like that. Hey man, I just followed you on Twitter. Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely check out my Twitter. As you guys can see, the Instagram and the Twitter are the same handle. So yeah, check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is a great place to ask me questions. Ask me questions and have a conversation, because when you guys send me a comment on YouTube, what ends up happening is I'll reply to that comment and then you reply to me. And since I usually do my replies on my phone, it's a pain in the ass to go back and try to find and reply to that comment that you replied to me. There's no good way where YouTube breaks it up. So I just don't want you guys to feel like, oh, I just ignored you after you replied. It's just like sometimes those people slip through the cracks. So I always say, if you want to leave a comment, leave something that either like I don't really have to respond to, or just like request like a video to be done, or like just give a yes or no answer, but don't really respect a reply to my reply. Or like don't like, if you reply to my reply, don't expect a reply to that reply. I hope that makes sense, because it just might get lost. I try to get them, but they slip through the cracks. That's all I can say. I'm in LA area for a business. What are some good meetups to go to? E-sneaker. Go to Garrick Napar. I don't know. I don't know how to say his last name. Garrick's meetup, which is Learn Swift and I forgot the names, but I think it's called the Learn Swift meetup. And that one has meetups, I want to say, at least every other week. I want to say that. At least every other week. I would definitely recommend that one. That one's always a good one. And then I heard of one in Newport that I haven't been to, but I heard that one's also really good. Why don't you do job in some company? I do work at a company. I work at a startup. It's just that I'm technically a contractor because, at a startup, they can't really afford to pay you like benefits and all those other, things that you're supposed to get with like a real job. So I work at a startup, so I'm technically a contractor, but that's like my full-time job. What about Stanford Courses? You could do those, but, and I don't know if those are the same ones from when they first came out. Like, I don't know if they updated those, but I don't know. I felt so detached from the Stanford Courses. It was like, I never really did that great in school. Like, I consider myself to be smart, but the school teaching environment has never been a good structure for me. So if you like the way that they teach in lectures, if that works for you, then do it. But I just don't like it. I don't like the Stanford Courses. iOS developers Slack group is a great source. Brian Advent as well. Yes, Brian Advent. I can't believe I even forgot about him. Yeah, Brian Advent is a great YouTuber as well. I watched he's probably one of the ones that I used to watch the most. NS URL. So I think you're asking right here, URL sessions or Alamo Fire. I personally prefer URL sessions, and I don't want to use Alamo Fire unless I have to. Just because I don't like the unnecessary abstraction or putting third-party frameworks on my project unless I have to. Everything that you could do with Alamo Fire is just using URL sessions. So it's like why? But the only thing that I can say that Alamo Fire really does well and makes it easy for you is that uploading an image is super easy on Alamo Fire. Whereas, one of the reasons why I actually started YouTube, and what really kicked me to do YouTube was the complexity around uploading an image in URL sessions. It's such a pain in the ass. Neil says, I am planning to migrate Siri with ServiceNow. Could you please guide on that? I am planning to migrate Siri with ServiceNow. Could you please guide on that? Neil, could you please ask the question in a different way? I don't understand that question. Zishan, so can we do machine learning in Swift? Not right now. You can do... Swift can work with like a machine. Like, I don't know all this. I still haven't even played with Core ML yet. But from my understanding is you train your network, or I forgot the words for this. It's been so long since I talked about core or machine learning. But you would train your AI essentially with something like Python. From there, you're able to create like some type of binary or like a framework or something that can be imported and used with Core ML. And from there, you can use Swift to interact with that framework. But no, you can't do from my understanding, you can't do machine learning using directly Swift at this moment in time. So yeah, if somebody knows more about that, you could definitely correct me where I was wrong. But from my understanding, everything I said was right. I'm 18 years nerdy programmer guy, and I wonder what business should I start now on the side while in college and slowly develop so I can drop out later and become multimillionaire with the business. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Go to college and then drop out to become a millionaire. I mean, that sounds about right. But if I were you, if you already know that you're gonna drop out of school, then I mean, just stop wasting your money, because that's stupid. And then you're wasting around 6 hours a day going to school, and that's time that you could actually spend developing your business. Like, if you know that you're going to drop out then later, then just drop out now. Like, why are you wasting your time and your money? Just do it now, and start helping yourself to do whatever it is that you love. Don't waste your time. I don't I don't know what to tell you, man. So eSneaker says, yeah, man, I'm up for those challenges, those types of challenges. I think it enhances the skill level. Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely look into those, see how easy it is. I think I might do the Project Euler stuff, but yeah, I have to look into that. I'm kind of interested in that stuff too. How's the coding programmatically going? Actually, haven't even started doing the programmatically stuff really. I've been like just so buried in work and then getting you guys videos, I haven't even been able to do that. But I'm praying that I get this house, because if I get this house, that gives me a little bit, that's going to save me like an hour a day, because my commute to my parents' house, which is where I'm at now, which is where I do my work, would give me an extra hour here. Also, having a huge monthly payment to pay off the house is going to force me to really like work on these things. So I'm hoping to structure my life after I get out there, and then I think I will be able to accomplish all my goals when I'm really when I have all this pressure on me, because I work better under pressure. Are there any tools to make websites in Swift? Yeah, so I like to use Vapor, and then with Vapor you can interact with layouts. You could do it yourself if you wanted to, but you can use Leaf, which I believe Leaf is like a templating system that allows you to like interact with like things like Bootstrap, and and what that does is It allows you to interact with Bootstrap and all that stuff so that you can make a beautiful website, primarily with Swift. But from my understanding, you still have to work with JavaScript too. So, can you please make a tutorial on server-side Swift, like building a database on a local server? So Zane, all that stuff is coming out. I'm actually going to be releasing another video tomorrow on server-side Swift. I'm using Vapor. I found that Vapor is the most user or like beginner friendly because I don't come from a back end development type background. So I have to learn web development, back end development, right? And Vapor was the one that made it the easiest to get up and running. The community is more helpful than any other community, and the documentation is put together very well. So Vapor is the tool of choice that I use, and then Vapor is like officially supporting MySQL. So the tools that I'm going to be using, and you can actually see this in the entire app building process that I'm going to be covering every week and have been covering, not on a weekly basis, but now it's going to be more consistent. But yeah, I'm using Vapor as the back end, saving stuff using MySQL, and yeah. I can't drop out of school because I think I'll regret it. Well, yeah. I mean, if you think you're going to regret it, then don't, live. You don't want to be living life with regrets, right? So, like I said, only reason I said to drop out of school is if you already know that you're going to drop out of school, then why spend more time waiting and doing, like, why waste that time if you're going to drop out anyway, right? I'm not telling you to drop out of school. I'm just saying, if you know that you're going to drop out of school, then what's stopping you from just doing it now? Like, save yourself some time. All right, the student programmer says, what advice would you give to a new developer like me? So, the best thing that I could say, and this goes back to, once again, that devlog that I did last week, was tip number 10, which is to start creating content. Start doing tutorials on the stuff that you learn, even if you don't have anybody follow. And I would say actually put it out with thinking like nobody's ever going to read your content or watch your videos or whatever it is. Nobody's ever going to see it, right? But put it out there, and then, maybe somebody will see it, but don't even think about that. Just start putting that stuff out there. Start documenting your progress. Start documenting your learning, your thought process on how and why this thing works and how somebody else could take the steps to do it. Because even if nobody looks at it, what you do is you end up building up like a knowledge base, essentially. And then what you can do is whenever you're working with that piece of technology again in the future, if you forget how to do it, all you have to do is just go back to your blog article or your video, and then you could read or watch it, and then you can re-implement it. That's what I do. I actually, like, I don't memorize all these things that I put videos out on. Like I said, I don't even know half the things that you guys asked me to do, and I put out videos on them. And you guys are usually pretty happy with it because it works. I would show you how I would use it in a real world app, and I do my research. But like, okay, so like I'm going to be implementing in-app purchases tomorrow for my company, right? I'm going to go watch my own video and look at my source code, and I'm going to look up how I did all that stuff and then just re-implement all that stuff. I don't have that memorized. I know I can do it. I could probably figure it out all by myself again if I needed to, but I have somewhere that I can go. I have a place. I have a knowledge base. My YouTube channel is my knowledge base. I go here and I look stuff up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I did it. Now I remember that, and maybe I make improvements to it or whatever. But like now I know I have a place that I can go, and I could just remember how to do it and exactly in my style how to do it. What do you think of iOS source code leak? Actually, I haven't heard anything about that, so I don't have any. I obviously don't have an opinion because I haven't heard anything about that. But I mean, what's the big deal? MySQL or core data. So I think when you're asking this question, you don't really have a full understanding of why one is better than the other, or why you would use one or the other, and that's probably. Or wait, I think you mean SQLite too, right? Because MySQL is a database, and core data is it's also a database, but it's local. So I think you mean SQLite or core data. And when you're asking a question like that, it's because you don't really understand the benefits of one or the other. So in my SQLite video, which I think I did after the core data video, I actually talk about why you would use one of these over the other. You would use SQLite when you're just working with just raw data that you're probably not going to have any relationships to. And you just need to just store some data somewhere, right? So if it's between those two, yeah, if you just need to store some data that's not going to have any relationships, then go with SQLite if that's what you want to do. If you're planning on creating data models that have relationships to each other and that are going to be working with one another and things like that, then I would say go with core data. Once again, if you're only limiting it to those two, then I would say go with core data. So yeah. What book would you recommend for iOS development? I can't tell you books, guys, simply because that's not how I learn. Although I am going to be writing a book by the end of this year on iOS development. It's just like I don't consume books. Like I can't read and consume books. However, I'll let you know what I think would work if I was able to consume knowledge that way. So the first book that I would get would probably be The Big Nerd Ranch. Heard nothing but great things about The Big Nerd Ranch. So that's probably the main one that you want to get, and that should cover everything that you need to know as a beginner. Next, I would say you would probably want to go with some of the Ray Wenderlich books. There are those. Objective-C.io has some great books as well. And then there's also hackingwithswift.com. Go to hackingwithswift.com, and that's done by, I forgot his, Paul, I want to say Paul Hudson, aka Two Straws. He also writes a lot of great books, and he has a wide variety of content. So those are some books that you might want to look into. Let's see. Okay, I started programming in Swift sometime around July last year. I'd never understood the concept of URL session until I saw your video on it. Yeah. I'm happy to help. Yeah, I hate that people are teaching Alamo Fire like that's what you have to do to make a networking request. Like it's just like that's why I always say in all my videos that is dealing with networking but is not URL session, is to learn URL session, because that's what is actually doing the networking under the hood of Alamo Fire. Learn that and understand that has all the tools that you need to use it, and that Alamo Fire is really only there to kind of eliminate the boilerplate code that you would normally do and make things like uploading videos easier, or images and stuff like that easier. What advantages does Swift have over other languages in your opinion? The biggest advantage that Swift has over any other language is that it is probably the most user-friendly language that you could probably find out there. That can actually do something like in real world applications. I'm not talking about like Scratch or something like that. I think you might be able to make a case for Python. Python's really easy to learn, or at least the syntax looks like it's easy. I haven't really dove too deeply into Python, but yeah, Swift has it has an amazing community behind it. And two, the syntax is readable. Like you can show your code to somebody else, and you can show your code to a non-program, and they could probably take a good guess at what it does. So that's why Hacking with Swift by Paul Hudson. Yeah, that was the one. I learned many things from you. Yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to help, Zane. That's what I'm here for, is to help you guys out and help you learn as much as you can in a easy to understand way. Because while I love the content that all these other YouTubers put out and all these other online courses they put out, sometimes I just feel like their way of explaining it didn't help me learn what I needed to really know and some of the pitfalls. And I try to always cover that, which makes my videos way longer than everybody else's. But I think it has it can be more useful to somebody that's just starting out. Like URL session, Alamo Fire. Now I am going to learn core data from your tutorial. Thanks a lot on doing what you're doing. May God bless you. Thank you, Zane. I appreciate that. Also, Zane, before you go, I would say definitely take a look at Realm. I personally like Realm a lot compared to Core Data. Now, I have kind of mixed feelings because I'm an Apple fanboy and I always just want to go with whatever they implement because it's probably good enough. So I could understand you just wanting to go with core data, but I would definitely say also just take a look at Realm. Take a glance at Realm, see if it's something that you might be interested in. And I think the learning curve is a lot lower on Realm as well. I have a whole video on that too. So, all right, guys. So that's going to bring us to a whole hour. I didn't even want to do it for an hour. I was thinking like a half an hour. I didn't think I'd get like 16 people in here. That's like the most I've ever gotten in here. So that's pretty cool. Let me see. What is the best way to parse JSON with codable and decodable? Or codable, yeah. Codable. Encodable and decodable. I'd say that's probably the best way, easiest way. I have videos on that too. Several videos on parsing JSON, actually. I go over, Swifty JSON gloss and some other one in one video. I go over how to do it the normal way, like back in Swift 3, and then I go over how to do it with encodable and decodable. So I have a lot of videos on that. Swifty JSON can make it simple. Yeah, but I don't think it can make it as simple as codable. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for today. I appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed the session, and make sure that you guys follow all of those. Little links like down here where it has Kilo Loco over here, yeah, right there. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and things like that. Last question. Do you work or have you ever worked as a developer at a company? If yes, what was your role? Yes, I'm currently working at a company. I am the only iOS developer at a startup. If you want to take a look at the app, it's called Tennis Pal. It's a social network for tennis players. But yeah, I am employed, so I kind of have a decent idea of what I'm talking about. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe because releasing daily content, and I'll be dropping a Vapor video for you guys tomorrow. So yeah, keep coding passionately.